So the last time we met, I told us that we have five different five different processes of data analysis. The first one being data gathering the data collection. Then the second one is data analysis, data transformation. Then the third one is data analysis. Then the fourth one is data visualization. Then the fifth one is data reporting. Now we've done enough justice to gathering the data, that is data collection. Then we've also done justice to cleaning of data, which I introduced us to normal cleaning and also to Power Query. And also we also did um, data analysis using Power Table, pivot table, sorry, using pivot table. Then the last one we were doing data visualization on in Excel the last time. So in case you were not here, I told us that my laptop acted up. So it is currently with the engineer. So when we refer back to the project, the unfinished project, once I get my laptop back. So today, want to move on to the last process of data analysis, which is what data reporting. So what's data reporting? Data reporting um, is just you reporting on everything that has been done before in the project that has been done in the project. So data reports, if most of us, I know some of us are pharmacy students and we know how to write a report. So data reporting is more like that. It's just you writing what has been done. Now let's say I want to report now. So you just go to your browser, just click on medium.com. Right? Medium is a I won't is it yeah, it's an app. We don't say an or it's a web app. Let me just say it's a web app for writing. Most writers are using uh this this uh this platform for writing. So that's what you also do. So what do you call a portfolio? Portfolio is where you can see your projects, and also I can see your data reporting or documentation. They also call it documentation. Now, let me explain the significance of this documentation. It's more like you are done with the project, right? You've done all the process of data analysis, you visualize it. That's the project. Now, the second thing is I want to see everything you've done. So you want to write, I want to walk through your thought process. That is everything, that is all the, why are you doing this? For every pivot table, as I've always say that for everything that you are doing, you're actually solving a business problem. You are not just doing a chart there. You are solving a problem. So in this kind of problem, you want to know what is the problem solved and what are the recommendations. So that's why you need data reporting. So data documentation. So when you document whatever you've done, so I will actually look to and I want to evaluate your thinking, uh, uh, your problem solving ability. So once I evaluate it, I will decide if you are fit to be in my organization or not. So majorly when you are being interviewed, they read your documentation to actually ask you question about the project. So you don't want to exclude data documentation project documentation out of your portfolio because it is very, very important. So how do you do this? The first thing is go to your browser, click on medium.com. Actually, this should not be the home page. The home page will be something like login or sign up. Yeah, because I have an account with them, even though this is like a dormant account, my active account is not here pointing. So I have an account, right? So this will be um when you sign in, this will be the home page for you. Now let's understand the interface here. Let me use my cursor. So we can see we have different buttons here. So these are different tabs. We have the home tab, we have the library tab, we have the profile tab, we have the stories, we have the stats. So now let me just explain. This is just the home page. Then we have the library, that is the collection of all the collection of all the projects we've documented. Then profile, obviously my profile. Then stories. These are stories now. These are the work that has been done by other people, right? And stats. These are the people. This is the statistic of people reading my my documentation. That is my project documentation. So what am I following? Assuming I'm following any writer or publication, I would have seen it here. So I can see I have couple of stuff here, couple of stories or documentation here. These are just what has been written by other people, right? So I can see we have plenty of them. We have plenty papers here, which I'm not actually interested. Then we have this thing. These are just like trending stuff that are going on on Medium. So the first thing I want to do is I want to actually write. You want to click on this right button here. So let's click on that one. So once you click on your right, so it will lead you to something like this, right? So we can see this Medium, you actually don't need to rush, right? You once you write there, it is saving. So that means tomorrow you can actually see it there. You can see your saved project there. So the first thing is, who can remind me the last project we did the the last time? What was the topic? What was the title of the last project we were doing before before we rounded off that day? What was the topic? What was the topic of that? I can't remember. Was it student? Was it student clinical or bank? Is it bank or students? It's one of the two. Find that thing again.
I think it was bank. If I can remember it.
Okay. Bank. Sorry, what bank was? Is it like um what was the bank issue? Is it a bank issue? I can't remember the play in the bank. Sorry, I'm not with my computer. I would have checked it. Bank. Let me look to it. You have no idea. I think it's the bank loan. Okay. I can't remember what we were doing, but let's say bank loan analysis. So the first thing you want to write is what title. You can write it anyhow. There is no standard. Now let me just say this before I start writing. There's no standard to how to. There's no standard way of writing documentation. Documentation is just that whatever you've done, you are writing it down. So there is no. I cannot say this should be the way you should do it. You understand? So the first thing is maybe input everything on cap lock. Let's say bank analysis, bank debt analysis. So the first thing is you can actually say you may want to describe this analysis. You may say this this analysis focuses. Hmm? um, Bank debt, um, sorry, I'm just trying to. This analysis aims to explore the, the individuals individuals individuals. Hmm? Okay. Once and for me, that's from the so you can just continue after you can write anything that you want to write there. So let me see. Okay. So that's the brief summary about the topics, right? So the next thing you want to click on enter, you can see we have a plus button here. You can actually so you can see we have a plus button here. So you can if you want to add an image, you can just see we have different buttons here, which are we explore the button from. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start from the process of data analysis. What's the first one? That's gathering the data or data collection. You want to do something like this data collection. So that's the first thing, data collection. So how do you collect your data? How do you get your data? You may say this data set was gotten was gotten from Kaggle, right? And say this data set was gotten from Kaggle, and you may provide the link actually. You may provide the link. You just say it was maybe data collection, it was analyzed, it was uploaded into Excel, Excel version 2016. So now that's the first one. So now after the data collection, you may write as much as you want. This is just an explanation. This is just right. So after data collection, what's the next one? Data transformation. So you really want to write all the data transformation steps that you carried out in the project. So data transformation. So we have our data transformation content. Now, this data transformation is just like maybe the first thing after you've loaded the data, the first thing is maybe you splitted the column. So you say you can just say something like this, the old data set was sorry. You can just say the old data set was loaded. I don't know. How much are they? The old data set was loaded and the old data set was loaded and was loaded into Sparkle and was loaded to different columns. So you may also say after that one, you can write something like this. Can you see? By adding negative sign or the hyphen sign on your keyboard, so when you click a space, it will actually turn to a bullet point. That means you want to say or you want to list all the data transformation that you did. So you can see the next one, you can see the bullet points there also. So you can say after you've splitted them or you split them, when there's a split, or split into different column. So after you split them into different column, the next thing is you want to say something like I changed the color. So sorry. I changed the column header. So you understand. So you are trying to just list all the data transformation that was being done in the project. So after data transformation, so the next thing is what? Data analysis. You can just say analysis. Now, remember, analysis usually contain pivot table, right? Okay. Now let's say I want to explore this analysis. Now let's click on enter. We want to do we have like, I don't have the data set here. I would have shown you how to do it. But I think I'll share one to us now. I want everyone to on it and just open it immediately while we are watching, we are on this call. I'll send it to the group now. I'm coming. What's me? It's coming. I'll send it now. Okay, can we click it? Can we click on the link, please? Can we click on the link? I want to use it to explain. Please, if you have clicked on the link, please can you reply with an emoji? So I know I'm not the only one. If you've clicked the link, can you reply with an emoji? No, reply here with an emoji. Okay, only one. Only one. Only one. No, two people. Okay, please let's click at the link and let's see how this girl has done her own. So the first thing we can see, we have um we have we have the topic, right, and you can see a little bit of explanation under it. So we can see before data cleaning, you can see how she did her own data analysis, data visualization, then key insights. Nothing was done yet. So look at that visualization. So also, while I share this one, I also share another one to us. Um, I'm coming. I want us to look at it too, so we can join. You can understand what I'm trying to say. What is the name of this guy? Um, Sorry, do you have a question? You unmute your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. No, another one has been sent. Please let's check this one. The new one that I sent to us now. Yeah, this is what I want to send. Now let's look at that analysis slide. Please, if you've opened it, please can you put an emoji so I can move on. The second one, the newest one I've sent, the newest link I sent. Please, if you open it, can you put an emoji? Okay, one. Um, okay, good. So now let's look at that analysis. So basically, what we explain, you can see we have customer churn analysis capstone project. Then we have our data collection, we have our transformation. So we have our analysis here. So look at the analysis. You can see, um, we have uh pivot table there. Actually, it was not supposed to be done like this. It was actually supposed to be each table. You should actually tell us why you are doing each table. But there's a mistake here. But I hope you get what he is trying to do there. What he's trying to do is that you have like 9 pivot table. You are actually expected to take the table one by one. You understand? That means each table, this table, you want to explain why do you do this? What is the project? What is the pivot table trying to solve? You understand? That's what you write under your analysis there. So how do we import the table? So now let's say this is the now let's say this is the pivot table, right? The first thing you want to do is you want to screenshot the pivot table. Let's say this is just the pivot table, for example, right? You will do Window Shift X. You will hold on to this keyboard, this keypad, um, consecutively, Window Shift S, right? You see something like this. That means you can screenshot. If you click on this one, it will screenshot the whole page. But you don't want to screenshot the whole page. You just need a pivot table. So you will not click on anything. You hold on to your left click. You will left click, then you will drag it down. So let's say this is a pivot table, Right? You can see a pivot table uh, has been has been screenshotted. So you can just click on this, then click on save here, click on save here, right? Let's save it with something J. I've saved it with KJ. So you can just change this one to JPG. So click on save, cancel this one. So now let's say I need this particular pivot table that I've screenshotted. You want to click on this plus button, right? I'm trying to solve a problem. So you can see the first thing is if you hover your mouse over the first button there, you can see we have add an image, which is one thing we actually want to do. But let's look at the other one. We have add an image from Unsplash. This button is actually saying, imagine you have a picture you want to download on a website. This is actually the link. This is the button you will click. Then also we can see we have add a video. If you have a video you want to add to your report, this is where you click. And this is where you click to add a link. Now let's say you are trying to say I got the link from Kaggle. Then you actually want to you want to paste the link where you've gotten the data set. So this is where you will click to get the link pasted there. So we actually most of the time we don't use this tool as their importance are really not known now that they are not widely known, and we really don't use this as no part. No, we do use this one actually. This one is just to separate. Let's say maybe you are done with this stuff and you just want to separate it. Maybe after data collection, you want to separate it. You want to add that three dots. Then before your data transformation, stuff like that. You usually use that one. I'm sorry. So now in this case, I actually want to upload my image that I've screenshotted. Click on this, click on upload image. So it will actually go through your computer. So I want to go to my quick asset, then to my recent file. I can see my JJ here. So then click on OK. So I can actually see my screenshot here. Assuming this is actually a pivot table, this is how you will see a pivot table there. So now let's say this is a pivot table. It is actually trying to solve um the correlation, or let's say is trying to explore the correlation of bank debt and age group. You see this pivot table. There's it. Let me click on something. I was actually supposed to write it before this one. I'll say something like this. This pivot table was was done to explore the relationship or the correlation of this pivot table was done to explore the correlation of age group, age group and bank debt. So you can also say um with this pivot table, it was noted that people of black race that are within the age range of 10 to 20 tends to have the most tends to borrow. They have a lot of responsibility on their shoulder, which is why they are borrowing. You understand? You want to add more things. Don't just stop at where I'm stopping. Please do just an explanatory class, please. So you also want to do that for, let's say you have 9 different pivot tables. You want to do that for each of your pivot tables, right? So when you are done with your analysis, the next thing is what? Visualization. So you want to write on your visualization. Now, for every visualization, you want to do the same thing. You want to screenshot it, right? Like just like the second link I sent to us. Now let's check the second link again. Let's look at that visualization. The newest link I sent, the recent link I sent. Let's look at that visualization. Now, this visualization, guys, please, if you are there, please can you reply with an emoji so I will know you are actually on that link. Please reply with an emoji. Anyone? Okay. Thank you. So now let's look at that visualization. You can see the first thing is what customer population by gender, right? So we can see he's saying that this chart show the gender distribution of companies' customer base with nearly equal representation between male and female. Okay, this is actually the explanation of this um of this chart. But then I don't know why are we doing this chart. The documentation is not correct. I really cannot be in a shoe because the documentation is not explicit, which is what I don't want us to do. I don't want us to do something like this. You will explain it briefly, the explanation, you explain the chart, then you also tell me the importance or the significance of that chart and why you are doing it. So we have customer population by country. You can see we have customer churn by country and stuff. So you can see the next thing we want to do is what. Now let's look at the last diagram that was there. That's there. We have organization demographics. We have Spain, we have France. The red one is actually Germany. So you can see because we used a red paint, the Germany, we recognize Germany to be the company or the country with bad customer service, right? So it was actually supposed to be there that there should be a recommendation. Sorry, there should be a further note, right? That is postscript. There should be a postscript there saying that Germany has a bad, what do they call it? Bad customer service, and this behavior should be reviewed. New policy should be given, all the stuff. Now, for every data set you are doing, there should be a recommendation. You're actually there as a data analyst, you are there to solve a problem. So you want to add your own recommendation. Okay, this is what I've explored, this is what I'm recommending through uh this training program. Sorry, through this analysis. This is what I explored, this is what I got, and these are the recommendations I'm providing. So you can see this person provided three three recommendations, right? So the next one is what we concluded. So this is actually a good documentation, but just not well presented, right? So that's what I want us to do. Now to get this is the same thing I actually told us to do as our project, which I have not seen any submission. And I actually said that the submission deadline is on Wednesday by 8 p.m. That would be a project uh, on Excel. Please let's take it serious because further submission other than that time will not be assessed and may actually lead to um, you not collecting the certificates of this program. So please try to uh, let's try to do it and submit it before Wednesday 8 p.m. I'll try to remind us every day so we don't forget. Okay. So the next thing is after we are done with project medium, I've also told us that we ought to add recommendation. It is very, very important, right? Because you are not just there to play with stats and pivot table. You are there to recommend. You are there to solve a business problem. So you have to write your recommendations. So imagine if you write something like write 15 recommendation. I know you explore the nook and corner of the data set. You written 15 recommendation. I already know that if you actually join my organization, that means you will see a lot of business problem with your data and you can be a good fit for my organization. And that's actually the importance of project documentation as a whole. Now that we are done, we want to move on to our next tool, which is SQL. But we are actually supposed to start SQL. Like I said earlier, my system is acting up and the system I'm currently using does not have SQL. So we'll move on to the next one, which is Power BI. Power BI. Now let's look at Power BI. How do we download Power BI? So I should have Power BI here. Let me look at this. Let me start that. So we have Power BI desktop here. Like before I load it, maybe let's load it. So it's already loading. Okay. So this is the landing. This is the landing. This is landing page for Power BI. So it's very similar to what we've done the other time. So now let's look at it. So we have our blank report. We have other places we can get our data set. So because this is actually our first time, you want to click on what blank report. Now let's look at this. This is the home page of Power BI. Now let's just explain this um, interface to be more familiar with Power BI. So the first thing you want to see, let's start from the right page, right side. So the first thing you want to see is you have different things here. This thing that we have here, we have thing. So the first thing we have the data thing. So this data is where we get we see our data set that is loaded, that we load to our Power BI. This is where we see it. Then the next thing is visualization. Obviously, from this chart, there's this where we can add our chart, right? So this is where we can add our chart and format our chart also. So we actually have two two formatting button there. We have the format page and the build visual. So now the next thing is we have our filter. From the word filter, you already know what it is trying to do. So if you actually click on this view tab, right, you will see something like we have different panes here, right? If I click on bookmark, you can see bookmark panes show up. If I click on selection, can see selection page already show up. Now, you don't want to keep your workbook like this because these are our workspace. Look how small it is now. We can barely see anything there. So you want to remove or you want to collapse any pane that is not being used. Now bookmark, I'm not using it currently. So I want to deselect it. Selection, I'm not using it currently. You want to deselect it. So we have our filter. You can actually deselect your filter, but most time the usual practice is that you collapse this filter. Now let's just collapse the filter. So now collapse the filter here, then collapse my visualization here, then collapse my data here. So you can see there is a large space to work with now. So this is what we call things, the first three things. So now to this one, this is just to enlarge the page, right? This is just to enlarge my work. So if I increase it like this, can you see it become bigger, for instance. So the next thing is our page number. That means I can have a report here. I can have more than just a page. Now, if you look at this thing, we have a desktop layout view and we have a mobile layout view. Now, let me click at the mobile layout view. So you actually see something like a phone. That is now one thing about this Power BI is is and only all in one tool. You can do data analysis there. You can do data transformation there, that is data cleaning. You can do data transformation, data cleaning. You can do data visualization there. So you can basically do all the process of data analysis except you can do all the data, all the process of data analysis except all the pages of data analysis or data reporting. Now, why do we need a mobile layout? So there's actually a Power BI app on our phone. So whenever you are done creating your visual online, I'm sorry, on your desktop, so you want to publish it. So your shareholder, your stakeholder, or who you are reporting the data set to, your analysis to, can actually just download Power BI up on their phone, and the way you designed it to be on their phone will be the way it will be showing on their phone. That means it can be accessed by using their phone. So that's the desktop layout and the phone layout. So the other thing, we have different view here. We have the table view, the report view, sorry. So this is the page where you get to see your report. We have our table view also. This is where you see the rows and columns, just like the Excel view. So we have our data model view. From this table, you can see we have different tables joining together. Now let's think about this scenario. So someone said my screen is not showing. Please, can anyone see my screen? Please, if
Yeah,
you can see my
sure.
screen, can you? My screen is showing. Can you unmute your mic, please?
Yes, your screen is showing.
Oh, okay. I guess it is our network. Okay. So, can you log out and log in again? Maybe it's on network. Can you log out and log in again? Our caster. We will wait for you. Just a minute, please. Okay, it is set to, it is showing now. So now, what I was trying to explain is I was trying to explain this view. So we have the report view. So if you click on this report view, this is where you get to see all your reports. So we have our table view, right? This is just the Excel view, what you see in Excel, that is the rows and columns of data. Then we have our data module view. Now we have different tables being connected. Now it's just like I'm trying to explain the scenario. Now let's say I want to look at the comment on a new released movie. You understand? Remember, I will not only release the movie link on Twitter only. Obviously, I have to release it on Twitter, maybe Facebook, Instagram, different social media, maybe not LinkedIn, but other social media. So all these data media, because I want to get okay, how many positive responses do you have, how many negative responses you have. This one will be the data set from Facebook, this is data set from Instagram, this data set from WhatsApp, these are from Instagram. You join the three together just for you to get information from all of them. So that's the importance of the data model. Joining of different tables together. So you have our DAX formula. DAX formula is just like formula that we write in Excel. For a little bit complex, but yeah, it is very, very simple. So here are TMDL formulas. So also the same, almost the same thing as DAX formula. Now let's just start. Let's move on. So we have our report here, which I expect us to have learned. So we also have our different tabs, just like Excel. We have our home tab, we have the insert tab, we have the modeling tab, we have the view tab, optimize tab, we have the help tab. So we discuss further on everything as we move on. Now the first thing is I want to upload a data set into my Power BI. So the first thing is let's upload. I know that the data set I'm trying to load is what um is a CSV file. So I want to get data. I want to click on this one because I know it is not Excel workbook. It's not one the catalog. It's not SQL Server data set. It's not any of this data. I want to click on this get data drop down. So I know it is a CSV file. So I'll click on this CSV button here. So once you click on this CSV, it will load to your computer. What do you want to see? Now let's say I want to get Nigeria for the data set here. So let's click on art. I think this one is a little bit easier. It's a little bit it is smaller than this one, so it will take less time to load. So let's click on this art. So it's already loading. So let's just give it a minute. Now you can see it actually looks like something that we are familiar with, right? You may not remember now, but look at this. We have load, we have transform data. When you load it, you load it into your Power BI directly, which is what I don't want. I want to go to the next step. The first step is me loading my data sets here. That's collection of data, right? So the next thing is what transformation of data because that's data frame. Now let's click on transformation of data. Now let's see where it will lead us to. Now, remember when I started this class, I remember not today, but when I started this particular training session, I remember I said the knowledge is transferable, right? When you know something very dearly, when you know Excel very dearly, you'll be able to do so well in Power BI. Now, remember this is also Power Query, the same thing as what we've been using since Excel time. So we can see we have our age, we have our sex, so you can actually do and all of the data transformation you want to do. Maybe for this age, you want to group them into different age groups. For this sex, you want to replace male with you want to replace M with male, F with female. Then for this chest painter, instead of ATA, you want to name it, the full name, maybe angina, then NAP, you want to do all of those stuff there. So the same thing for resting BP, you want to look at this stuff, you want to classify them into this is the normal range as compared to the standard reference that you get online. So you have our resting ECG, you have our maximum heart rate. So we want to clean this one, exercise and general. We want to replace this N with no, Y with yes. Then we have our all of this, and heart disease 0. We want to replace it with no heart disease, why heart disease 1. We want to replace it with what? Heart disease. So after you are done with all this data cleaning, the next thing is close and apply, which we've been doing since the morning. So when you close and apply, to load into your Power BI. It's still loading. Okay, so now we can see this the data set I've loaded. Can you see we have our data here? We have our Arch data set. That's what I've loaded. So if I click on this reports table view, you can actually see we have our column. It is still loading. Okay, now it has loaded. Is yeah. What's happened? Okay, yeah, that's still the data set. Sorry, I was the one that did mistake. Yeah, I was confusing it with another data set. Okay, yeah, it's still the same thing. I don't know. Yeah, these are our arts. We have our age, sex, US, This is actually the correct data set, right? So we can see what the real data set here. But if I go to my report view, whatever I want to do here, I can actually do it here. So we have our art here. If I click on this drop down, you can see all the old columns there. So now let's say we want to let's remove this one. Let's say I want to do this. I want to use a cost clustered column chart. So now I have my x axis and I have my y axis. So what do you want to do? What's x axis? That is the horizontal line. What do you want to be there? Now let's just say I want my text. Yeah, can you see? So what's the? I want to know the how many male and female has have angina. Sorry, have heart disease. Yes. So I want to drag this one into y axis. So can you see? We have more male patients having angina and heart disease. No, more male patients that have angina have heart disease. Oh God. Ah. So let's just
Who is
focus
that?
on let's just press this focus mode here, so you can actually see what we are trying to do. So yeah, because we can actually format this chart, right? If I want to format this chart, you can, as I've told us earlier, that whatever you want to do, you can do it in this visualization software. And let's click on the second one here, format your visual. What do you want to do to your x-axis? If I actually want to do something to my x-axis, let's say this text, I don't need it, right? I can just click on I can off this title, right? So let's do that. So the same thing for my y-axis. I want to off my title because I don't need it. So then let's say grid lines. I don't need a grid line. Let's take my columns now. So let's click on color. Then let's change the column to color black. So you can actually format your data set here, right? You can format all your data sets here. So in the next class, we will see how to format this and actually how to use Power BI as a whole. So do you have any question, any suggestion, any anything we don't understand in this class. Okay. If we understand the data and data documentation, can you please reply with an emoji? The data documentation and the interface of Power BI. Maybe you can navigate Power BI now. Please can you reply with an emoji? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any question? Please can someone unmute? Hmm. Okay, I think I will call you. Lawal. Mr. Lawal. Do you understand everything that has been done today? Okay, he said yes. Miss Zakaria. Do you understand everything that has been done? Yeah, Miss Kaustra, do you understand everything that we've done today? Okay. So yeah, this is where we stop the class because actually it's a whole lot of new information. So that's where we stop. Also, please let's try to submit our project. It is very, very important. So we get more knowledge on Excel. It's very, very important, guys. It is very, very important. And let's try to watch this recording. I will try as much as possible to drop it tonight. So let's try to watch it before the next class on Wednesday. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.